We have some other clips that I thought would be interesting. One of them is with a woman who's just a protester. Here on clip 8, Brad. So she talks about Biden, and then she's talking about Hillary Clinton. Anything you want to tell us about this woman? And what protest was this at?
I believe this was at a protest outside of Chuck Schumer's office in Manhattan. It was a protest held by Amnesty International
Okay.
and another organization. But
people is not the solution, you know?
Right, yeah.
The Nazis killed the Jews, and now we're going to kill the Palestinians. So I just wish they'd stop sending money and arms. And I think Biden is out of his mind because he's going to lose the damn election over it, you know?
Yeah.
And then we're going to get Trump, for God's sake. And what's that about? I mean, holy mother of God.
Hillary Clinton talking about how the young generation doesn't know their history, and just talking bad about them. What are your thoughts on what Hillary said about the younger generation not knowing their history in the Middle East?
I think she's nuts, frankly. I mean, I had to support her against Trump, but I don't think she was ever anything to write home about, actually. I mean, I'm involved in all these groups that are anti-racist and feminist, and they say, well, if a woman were in charge, and I think, well, how about Maggie Thatcher? It's not all women you want.
Speaking of England and Ireland, as we were with Rashid Khalidi, nice throwback to Maggie Thatcher, the Iron Lady.
Yeah. You don't all want all women in charge. Except she's saying now it's not in charge. Ceasefire now.
That was right after, I guess, Hillary had made those contemptuous, condescending comments about people not understanding the history of the Middle East and not being grateful to her and her husband for saving Palestinians. That's, of course, how she sees it. And then there's another interesting clip where you speak to an anti-Zionist Jewish protester. Let's hear what he had to say. And this was at a protest. Where was this one?
If I remember correctly, it was the Nakba Day
Nakba
rally
Day protest,
in Queens, in
Okay.
Astoria.
Commemorate the ongoing Nakba for over 76 years now. This year, the meaning of the Nakba is much different than every year, because we are facing an ongoing genocide taking place now in Gaza, which is unbelievable. It's on camera, genocide on camera, in the whole world is silent. And we as Jewish people, true to our religion, it's a Nakba for us too, because the Zionists are using our religion, our identity, to justify all these crimes for over 76 years, this occupation and this genocide, this ethnic cleansing against the Palestinian people. They're misquoting our religion in order to justify all this crime. But this is totally false. This has nothing to do with Judaism. Actually, as a proud Jew, I'm standing here for what is right. I'm standing here to say no to this genocide, no to this occupation. The whole occupation is totally wrong. Judaism is a religion only to serve God. Zionism is a political movement which is causing rivers of bloodshed. And the Nakba is much more when we remember how we lived before the Nakba, before this occupation. We lived in a beautiful peace with the Palestinian people. So what is the problem? It's not a problem of differences of religion. Yes, we have differences of religion, but this is not the reason of conflict. The reason of conflict is occupation. I carry with me the speech of Rabbi Baruch Kaplan after the Hebron massacre in 1929, which he clarified. He was a student in the Hebron University then, in the Jewish University. He said that the Zionists ignited the fire then. So the Zionist false alarms, false accusation that the Arab is the Jewish enemy, this is totally false. Jews and Muslims lived in peace, and we can still live in peace. We hope to live in peace with the removal of this occupation, the removal of the Zionist entity. And as a proud Jew, I'm saying, from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free from occupation, free from genocide.
So important what you're doing, because as you know, and as people watch the show know, the media loves to present all Jews as this monolith who support Israel. Also, all like older people as Israel supporters. And what you just did there, you had a clip of an older woman saying that she thinks Biden is nuts and Hillary Clinton, and then you had this religious Jewish anti-Zionist. So
Yep.
those, and combined with your documenting what's happening on the streets, are really important.
Right,
Uh,
and challenging that narrative,
right,
and I just want to say, so he's a part of Notori Karta. Are
right,
you familiar with them? Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
they're
they're a
always out,
religious sect who are very against the occupation, right?
right, against Zionism. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also a very important point that he made about Jews and Muslims and Jews and Arabs. Not that those two are mutually are interchangeable, but they overlap often. But that this idea that it's just two religions that can't get along, it's not true at all. As he
No.
pointed out, there was a lot of coexistence, and certainly this is not about, no one's fighting because of like uh, Yahweh versus Muhammad. That's not what this is about.
Right.
It's about
Right.
power. Yeah. And how did you get into this, John? This work?
I mean, I saw things like the path of our society. I just saw it going down a wrong path. Yeah, down a wrong path, and I wanted to kind of show people the truth and show them what's really happening. So it was in my heart to get out there and just document and be a counter, counter the mainstream, uh the mainstream news, the mainstream narrative, and do stuff that people aren't doing.
Yeah,
You got to be on the ground, showing what's happening, showing just showing the truth,
great.
and just talking with people, speaking with people. I mean, in this case, I've spoken to anti-Zionist Jews, anti-Zionist Israelis, anti-Zionist everybody, and I've spoken to both sides. So you have to get out there, you have to talk to people, and just show the world what's happening.